Wilpons, owners of the New York Mets, say they want to find another suitor to sell the team to after the Cohen sale fell through. And really, this could have been a blessing in disguise, if you ask me, for Mets fans, because what was Cohen going to do much different than the Wilpons? If you look at Cohen, one of the reasons, they said behind it was tax reasons. You buy the team, and I'm not going to even pretend I know the slightest thing about taxes, but somehow buying a team would result in some sort of write-off or would save Cohen some money. In other words, he was looking to buy the team, and I know any Mets fan, I'll tell you what, anything's got to be better than the Wilpons, but he was looking to buy the team for his own benefit of saving money, which was the number one reason I think a lot of people do not like the Wilpons in New York right now, because they are a big market team. They do not try to spend money, and they spend like a small market team, and that's, they've been not a very successful franchise over the last 2 decades because of, granted, they've made playoff appearances, World Series appearances, but there's been plenty of cases where Mets faithful have felt the Wilpons have not went out and spent money. And then when they do go out and spend money, we see them, whether you want to talk about their insurance policies, they love collecting on players. You see them continue to go after, fresh GMs, fresh managers, so they don't have to pay them as much. Or what do you want to talk about when you see trades like Robinson Cano? It was like, hey, it was a great trade. They needed Edwin Diaz, but instead of just making a trade for Edwin Diaz or just taking on the contract of Robinson Cano, you've seen that greediness come in there and say, well, you know what, we'll take the Robinson Cano deal, but we want you to take this guy's contract, we'll take this guy's contract, and we want you to retain $20 million in salary over the next 5 years or whatever, instead of just taking on that money, which resulted in, instead of doing what was best for the Mets there and just maybe trading less away, it resulted in them having to trade away top prospects in exchange to make that deal. Just in, let's be clear here, as great as Edwin Diaz was a reason it was so heavy on the Mets end was because they had them retain salary and take on those contracts, which was, kind of counterintuitive if you're the Seattle Mariners. So you go back to the Cohen situation, you wonder how much of that was going to change with Cohen in charge instead of the Wilpons. I mean, any really, really good investor you would think would be thinking, well, the more successful I make this franchise, the more they'll be worth. But then you do at the same time have the people that aren't really baseball oriented, baseball minded, and they're not even thinking that way. They're just thinking, let me see how much money I can save personally. I don't really care what happens here. And you never know if that was going to be what came down the road with Steve Cohen here. But I feel like when the Mets come out openly, say they want to sell, maybe take some bidders, maybe that becomes a better thing for the New York Mets. Now, no, it's obviously still going to take some billionaire to buy the team, but maybe you see some sort of, former baseball player or sports-minded guy kind of take a smaller stake in the team, but he takes control of baseball operations, and it's kind of a sign for Mets fans to say, hey, guess what? We're actually going to try to win. We're going to spend some money because we're a big market team. We're going to try to win some games. It's going to be great. You're going to enjoy it here in New York. So I think the selling and the fall through of this Cohen thing might have actually benefited the New York Mets here, or the Mets in general here. We'll see how this goes, though.